Okay, Sean Payton speaking to the media out there talking about Evan Ingram, his new Joker. This is what he said this morning.
It took a little bit. In other words, the process relative to his visit, other visits, the vision was pretty clear. Obviously we feel like he's someone that can run and give us a passing threat on third down, red zone. I think he's got good body control. I think he's really good when he gets the ball in his hands. So his run after the catch numbers, statistically wise, have been good. But I would say with him, it was a lengthier process where it was kind of like the old days of free agency, where a player would fly maybe to another team, and then usually wouldn't make it to the third team, but it worked out well.
And that's when you and I were like, uh-oh, like he's left the building.
Yeah.
Not a good sign, because that's the way it used to be. That's not necessarily the way that it's done now in most cases.
It was like, come on, Sean, though. You ain't got to lie. Like, things weren't as smooth as they were supposed to be because of probably money talks. Evan Ingram decides to leave the building because what we've heard is Evan Ingram wanted to be here from the start. He wanted to be a Denver Bronco. He was probably talking to Bo Nix, getting ready and saying, hey, these are going to be my teammates. But the money has to make sense. When you lowball a player, now you're leaving them that option, like, okay, you're disrespecting me. And you think I won't go somewhere else. And that's why Evan Ingram probably went to the Chargers to kind of see and view like how he would feel there, what it looks like there, what's the plan for him there, and is the money better over there? So my guessing is
it your guessing or you heard a whisper?
Yeah, I've heard a whisper.
Okay.
I'm going to be real. I heard a whisper in that things weren't as smooth as they were going to be, and everybody thought it was going to be. But then they came back around, got something done that both sides agreed to, and now Evan Ingram is a Denver Bronco. And that's all Sean had to say is like things were sticky, but we got it done. That's it.
Well, regardless of how sticky it got right out of the gate, he circled back, and Payton was talking about the prototype of the Joker and where Evan Ingram stacks up.
I would put him in that category, that family. I think that he is someone that has those skill sets. I think one of the things that helped us in the process, him making a decision, was that role. And maybe you could talk about it, but then historically speaking, having had players like him, I'm excited.
So, again, like a little detail, a little nugget in there, it sounds like the pitching of the Joker role to Ingram is really what got this deal done. We're like, this is where Ingram wanted to be. And Sean says, when you're able to show the player what we've done with this position in the past,
show him film.
That's a powerful vision to pitch. Like, you are him. Who is him? Was it Jeremy Shockey? Was it Jimmy Graham? Don't know. But it wasn't too long after Evan Ingram got that deal done with the Broncos, he was tweeting the gif of the Joker, completely fired up. And it sounds like this tight end at age 30 is looking forward to a bit of I'm going to say renaissance of his career, but still like, okay, you're about to see my best football in Denver.
No, but that's what a player is looking for, Zach, is when you're in the free agency situation and you're going to a team, pitch to me why I should come to you. Pitch to me if I don't get the money that I want, why it's a great fit to be here. And if you're able to do that and show me film and let me know that things are going to be okay and you're not lying to me, then I'm going to probably more than likely sign here. And that was the case here with Evan Ingram, where it's like you're showing me film of these tight ends and what you can do with them. You're telling me to my face that you don't have a tight end like me in the building. That's why it looked like it did this year. But if you are in this mix, Bo Nix is going to be better, you are going to be better, and this team will be better off. And every player wants to be welcomed. Every player wants to be wanted.
Totally.
And Evan Ingram is needed here and was wanted here, and that's why he signed here. And so now we can move forward and start to really have fun. Sean can open the playbook now. And I talked about this earlier a couple of weeks ago. I'm going to say it again. There are no excuses now, Sean. You're going to go to the draft. You're going to get your running back that you want. You have the tight end in the room. You're going to get your receiver one signed for at least 2 or 3 more years. You have these young players like Vele and Marvin Mims that you can rely on now, and you're going to push for them to do more. You have your quarterback. Go out there, open the playbook up, score points, make it harder for teams. And I think that's what we're going to see this year.
Well, I agree, and it's hard to disagree. And it feels like, man, I really got to catch myself here. I really got to catch myself.
Here, I'll catch you. You're light. I'll catch you. What's going on?
I don't want to get over my skis, but it feels like if the Broncos hit on these free agent additions, all right, Hufanga, Greenlaw, Ingram.
Yeah.
Okay, and I know this is going to be ifs. I understand. But I have to put qualifiers in them because you're not guaranteed anything. But if those guys stay healthy, all right, and if you hit on a first-round running back, you could be looking at an offense that really doesn't have a lot of weaknesses. And it's like, how do you want it? How do you want it?
That Trick Daddy song. How do you want it over here? You want it over there?
Like, do you want a haymaking right? Oh no, but we can box southpaw as well. You want to get down on the mat and wrestle because we can do that too. If you have a true 1A running back, a 1A receiver in Sutton, probably anywhere between the 8th and 10th best tight end in the league in Ingram, with the offensive line that is arguably the best, but certainly top 5 by any metric here in Denver, you're looking at a scenario where the offense this past year with no running game and no tight end was the most successful offense in nearly 10 years.
Yeah.
Nearly 10 years with a rookie quarterback and without some of that other stuff. Man, if they can hit on these, you're looking at an offense that is so multiple. It's a Swiss Army knife of how do you want to get down today.
Okay, but then let's play devil's advocate the other way. Denver had a successful year, but there was context to it. They only beat one team with a winning record.
True.
Everybody else around them is getting better as well.
Sure.
So although we're looking at it like laser focus on just what's going on here, which is the right move, you have to focus on what's going on here because that's all that matters. But also understand that everybody else is trying to get better as well.
Totally.
And on paper, it looks like everything is so perfect. Offensive line, the receivers, the running backs, the quarterbacks, Sean.
You sound like you're playing my role and I'm playing your role.
You know, it's just like
I'm like, this has a chance to be like.
But I've always been like that, where it's like things are going good for you, but somewhere around the corner, something's getting ready to happen. And I know it's not healthy to think like that. I used to think like that all the time when I was in the league and I was having success. And it was like, okay, but what's going to happen now? Am I going to get hurt? Am I not going to have this success moving forward? And you can't think like that. But there's always an obstacle.
Sure.
So the obstacle for me is all this is going to work as long as Sean continues to grow, opens the playbook, and Bo Nix grows more than he did this year. Because he's going to have to grow more than he did this year. Why? Because there's film on him now. He's going to have to be able to make some of those throws that he didn't make last year. He's going to have to be able to correct some of the things he has to work on to be successful this year against tougher opponents. And I know that people are saying, like, the people we're going against, it's like a C+ right now. It's a B+ when it comes to competition and the teams we're playing. But everybody is getting better, and this is the NFL. And when things don't go your way, you have to rely on the coach, who in this case is offensive coordinator, so he has the mind of this offense, and your quarterback. Can he bail you out of situations when things get tough? If those two, Sean and Bo, take another step, yes, all this is going to work out, and we're going to win 10, 11 games.
Well, and Sean also mentioned he said, him with the ball, he's a runner, talking about Evan Ingram. It's like he's a runner. You get the ball in his hands and what he can do after the catch. Not necessarily this past year when he was banged up, but you go back to 2 seasons ago, the 2023 season, Evan Ingram, of his 963 yards, 516 of those came after the catch. All right? That was 1 yard off Travis Etienne leading Jacksonville in yards after the catch. So really exciting. Haven't had a tight end like that around here in a very long time. Here was a little bit more from Sean Payton this morning. You mentioned, Bo, the importance of signing Evan Ingram to help Bo and his development.
We've talked about it for 2 years now. The interior triangle of your passing game, the tight end, the running back, the third receiver. When you're seeing a lot of these coverage shell looks, those positions have to thrive. And so the very logistical answer to your question is Ingram's closer to Bo than the receivers sometimes. The matchups inside, I just think, man, it's hard to play that position if you're not able to attack the interior triangle of some of the looks we're getting defensively. This, I think, helps both.
I love hearing from Sean. Just talk football. I mean, he's clearly just a great football mind. But, he's like, the logistical answer to your question is that Evan Ingram is going to be closer to Bo, like literally physically closer, lining up either tighter to the line of scrimmage.
And his routes are going to be closer, dump offs, 5-yard, 10-yard routes. It's right there in front of you. He might go to the middle of the field and sit there for a 10-yard in, which is just a dump off. That's an easy throw for Bo, and it gets the ball out of his hands faster, and it forces the defensive front and safeties to move up, giving you those options later on throughout the game of bombs and deep balls to Mims and Cortland Sutton. And the fact that Evan Ingram can break tackles, can be explosive after the ball is caught, that's scary for a defense. And now they're going to have to game plan towards that, which now opens up the run game, Zach. And if you can get a running back in the building that you can trust not just to run the football, but to catch as well, this is going to open up Bo Nix's mind, open up the offense, and we're going to have fun this year if these things happen. And it means Evan Ingram pans out and we get a run game.
Yep. Here's a little bit more from Sean this morning from the ownership meetings. Did he feel like free agency was a success?
It's not a process where you say, if I don't get this player, then we'll go get this one or this one. You really kind of identify exactly who you're looking to get. I would say we felt good. We felt good coming out of it. We felt like our team got better from a football makeup standpoint, toughness, and we'll continue to hopefully use that momentum as we get closer to the draft and then even after the draft.
He used the word momentum there. Does it not feel like the entire Denver Broncos operation has like the wind at its back right now, and it's just like moving with great momentum into the future? Everybody
is feeling good, looking good, got their shades on, they're confident because of how things are looking. You win 10 games this year. You got a quarterback that's going to be there for a long time. You got the head coach, the general manager, and then the owner. How could you not be feeling good? Life is good.
Life is good right now for Denver. Now you got to follow through on it. Right? Some people fall short of expectations. The expectations are being set right now with what they did in free agency, what they did this past year.
What are the expectations for the Denver Broncos right now on paper?
I mean,
looks good.
Phil, I mean, it feels like if the Broncos aren't in the playoff picture in the month of December, it'll be a step back.
So you're not thinking about wins or losses. You're thinking about getting to the playoffs.
Yeah, it just feels like it would be a bit deflating if Bo Nix's rookie year you went to the playoffs, but you couldn't get back. In terms of win total, man, it feels, and I hope I'm not getting ahead of myself here in late March.
Well, you have the right to change your mind.
Well, I'll say 9 wins feels like the floor. Where 1 year ago it felt like maybe 4 wins could have been the floor, and it feels like 9 wins is the floor right now. It's too competent of a football operation with some of the hallmark positions checked. I mean, think about the hallmark positions in football: left tackle, quarterback, cornerback, like edge rusher. Like, whoa,
they look checked.
Check. Like
they look checked right now.
That's how it feels. Now, again, you're going to go out and play the games. They're going to kick the ball off. Guys are going to need to perform. But that's true in every football conversation that we're going to have this offseason. So from what we know right now, goodness gracious, I mean, optimism just abound.